October 5th, 2019, Pleasanton, Texas. Starting on Saturn because it is about 4 to 5 degrees east of the moon. And so since it's so close, I figured why not go ahead and get that in there as a little bonus, because Saturn's cool, man. So let's zoom in some and just understand it's going to be real bright, so I'm going to have to do some minor adjustments, but just give me a second. Okay, now I need to focus, and then I will get this thing to stop moving. Just 1 second. Okay, that's not too bad. That's the full zoom with my phone. It's bright. I don't have a filter to view planets. I do have a polarizer, but not using that for tonight's footage. Actually, you know what? I'm going to actually try that. I'm going to do this footage first, and then I'm going to try it with my polarizer that lets in 1 to 40% light. So, depends on whatever you want it to be. Let's go ahead and zoom in most of the way. We have ourselves a little bit of zoom.
Jessica was sitting there.
So we got a little bit more zoom left. This isn't a bad image. I mean, I'm not going to try to focus because you can see the ring is clear. You've got the little spaces between the planet and the rings or whatever. But boy, look at those atmospherics, man. It's like waves up there. That's not bad. I am going to mess with the focus, but just to make sure. That's pretty good. Not bad. Not bad for a cell phone and a telescope. Raw footage. Let's go zoomed in all the way. This can be everything I got right there. Sorry about the shakiness. That's ugly. I don't really like that at all. I'm gonna zoom back just a little bit and just leave it alone for a minute. Just check it out, you know. One thing about Saturn is, if you look, first of all, get yourself a star tracking app or get Skyview. They have a free edition. There's all kinds. I'm going to tell you another one right now, what I like, because it sends me notifications about you know, celestial events, things that are like happening in the sky that night. So that's super cool. Well, right now I just got Skyview, so I'll have to try to put in the description of the video, the other app, but you can look them up. There's all kinds. That way you can start learning. Like, I don't have to go onto my app to find Jupiter or Saturn, or of course no one has to use it for the moon, but I would suggest doing that. That way you can start, seeing, like, you can tell people, look, that's Saturn. They may not believe you because it just looks like a little bright spot in the sky, but I'm telling you, it's there, man. So let's go ahead. I've got my star line done tonight, and I've got it set on the lunar rate, or the tracking rate is lunar. So we're gonna go to the moon right now. Usually helps if you're zoomed out. We were on the dark part of the moon, so that's actually, gosh, give me 1 second, guys. That's actually pretty cool because that light, you can see the moon. You can see the dark part of the moon when we have the light like that. How cool is that? I am drifting. And let me get a couple of pictures of this. This is pretty cool. You can clearly see at least the edges. And we're going to lose that brightness, guys. So sorry about that. I just thought that was kind of unique. I've never really noticed that before because I never pay attention to the dark part of the moon that far in. I'm going to adjust the focus very little bit. And just like always, I think we'll go ahead and start on the south side. Tonight the moon's 50% illumination. The second was 20, third 30, the fourth 40. Tonight's the fifth, so 50. Tomorrow the 6th will be 60, and then on the 7th it will actually be 69%, roughly. I'm just going off of an app. You know, it could be a little bit different, but it'll start becoming more and more illuminated. Less percentage each night we get closer to the full moon. Let's go ahead and we're just going to go full zoom on the phone. God, let me bring it out a little just to catch that south side. And I'm intentionally letting this drift a little, even though I think if I catch it, I can make that not drift. Now I think I saw something go across the south side right there. I'll review that at 6:43. Kind of drift over. Oh, guys, here's one of my favorite things of the moon. We're really gonna see some cool stuff tonight. I think y'all are gonna enjoy this. So, of course, I'll build up the suspense for just a few moments. I'll let you just just check out the beauty of the moon. There's no rush on something like this. I mean, you can say the moon's out every night, but you will never see the moon the same way that you see it right now. It's always different. It's always different. So you always find something new, or something's always going on, or the shadows, show something that you never saw before. So let's start with right down here. And we have not zoomed in on the eyepiece at all yet, so I like to focus on that terminator line. You can see how crazy it is. Looks like we've got a couple of craters with a trench connecting them. We saw that last night on the video of the tour of the moon on 40%. I'm not liking how it's doing this color change to me. So, upon further investigation, it actually looks like two shadows, not two craters. And then now I've zoomed in, it doesn't look like a trench. But let me show you what I'm talking about. Coming into dead center, pretty damn close right there, we've got what looks like something sticking up. Well, it has to be sticking up because it's casting a shadow. That's definitely strange. Then, like I said, hopefully you see what I'm talking about. Dead center there. I'm trying to get it to lock in place. Might have done it. You can see that we got some kind of a round hole right there, and then around that there seems to be a square and rectangle, type of structure with a structure going to the north of that. That's just looking at it, straight lines, right angles, and nature. I'm not sure how often that happens, and it's all speculation, guys. I'm not saying there's aliens on the moon. I'm not saying it's alien made. I'm just saying it looks like unnatural structures on different parts of the moon. It's just what I can see with my eyes, and I'm not here to prove that to you or tell you to believe me. I'm just here to show you what I see. So, we'll zoom out just a little bit like I always do. And actually, I'm not going to go anywhere but to the place I was building up the suspense for. I've got a photo of this that I took hanging in my living room, and I'm real proud of it because it's a real good shot that I got. But hey, man, it's the moon, you know. The moon's got all this. So what I'm talking about is right here, man, centered. Does that not look like a head with two ears? It looks like a face or some kind of weird stuff going on, right? But it just looks so cool, man. That's just a super strange area of the moon. I mean, strange. Definitely what I would consider some structure stuff going on in there, so let's go check that out. We'll leave ourselves a little zoom. And you don't have to, you know, you don't have to believe what I'm telling you, but if you look at that, you have to kind of make it looks like there's some, I don't know, there's some unnatural structures. I don't know. Could be just the way it looks and the way the light's hitting everything, and you know, it could be an illusion. I'm open to all possibilities, but this is, fuck, man, beautiful, beautiful. Let me give it the max zoom we got on that. It's a trip, man. I'd say it's a trip for sure. Alright. What I'm going to do, instead of going all over the place, I'm going to stick to the Terminator line and anything just within a reasonable distance away from it, so I don't really move the camera across the moon. Let's go ahead and hit this crater here. Man, I'm seeing stuff fly by now. I claim it to be birds most of the time, and you can double check me on that. But I don't know if it's always birds. So we've got this lower, coming lower center, almost center. There we go. That crater there. We've got something casting a shadow. So let's go ahead and go in. It's everything I got. Atmospherics, not as bad as they could be, of course. Probably better than last night, because when I was zoomed in last night like this, I mean, I didn't even really want to be zoomed in at 8mm on my eyepiece, which is what we're zoomed in on now, 8mm, as much as I've got, plus the 4x zoom on the camera, so it's not really giving us a crappy image at all. It's pretty decent quality, not bad. I'm hoping, yes, okay, I was hoping to see if this spot would pop back up real quickly to me, and it definitely does. So I'm going to slowly, intentionally let this drift north, just so I can bring this object in, and man, hopefully you can see it dead center. We've got a crater. We've got a crater, and then there's like a white, no, I shouldn't say white, but a lighted, more bright, reflective object that seems to be going outside of it. I don't know. Let's go in and see. I don't like how that color change happens. I don't like that at all. So now that we've gone in a little bit, dead center, it's pretty damn center. I don't know, this kind of takes it away. I'm not gonna lie to you. Let's just give it all we got and see, well, what's really going on right there. Okay, so there is right. Oh gosh, this is a little bit harder sometimes. Gosh, there's also a really weird shadow being cast, as if that thing that we're looking at might be off the ground. Got a couple of shadows right there in that area underneath the crater. Boy, it's hard to tell, you know, it could just be on the left side, down in the crater. It's tough, you know, observing the moon sometimes. That I wouldn't call anything, but it definitely stuck out to me. Take a picture of that. That's beautiful. Slowly drift over this way. I'm telling you guys, I mean, if you're watching this on a cell phone, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're watching any of my videos on a cell phone when I'm trying to find things transiting the moon, you're definitely going to need to see that on a very least a laptop or a big screen monitor for your computer. Because I'm seeing some stuff flying by tonight, and I'm not claiming it to be anything, you know, other than just something flying by. So let's go ahead and move on up. No, not up. Let's move in. Just north of that area that we were looking at now. Oh wow, this is cool. I get a picture. Beautiful. Just look around, pretty much centered. Look kind of north, or let's just say above center. You can see the two very large craters, one on top of another. And to the southeast of that, there seems to be some weird looking stuff going on. And I'll just take you in and we'll work our way up to what I'm talking about. So we'll get most of the zoom in. So what I'm looking at right now is pretty much dead center. You've got a straight line that goes from north to south all the way across that crater. Seems that, I mean, maybe at the end of that line on the north side there's a T-shaped structure of some kind, but there's definitely even further north of that there is like a Z-shaped structure. To the southeast of that large crater, pretty much dead center right now, you can see it looks like an entrance or something. And then you've got like these structure-looking things, man. I'm just saying. Sorry about the shakiness. Yeah, just pretty much dead center. You can see that looks pretty cool. Not the clearest in the world, I'll give you that, but it's you can see shape. You can see 90s squares and stuff like that. Not all over the place, but we'll go ahead and zoom back out. We'll stay kind of close. Let's start going north. We'll just slowly drift up. Try to move over to the left. Only I was going to try to catch that different color, man. But that's all right. Let's stop here. And let's go in just about halfway. I'm trying to be gentle on that zoom, but I can only do it manually. Okay, so this very large crater with two smaller craters to the west and south is what I'm looking at right now. If you look on the south side of that larger crater, well, I'll tell you what, man, if that don't look like a 90-degree turn, like an L-shaped building, the more lit areas around it, I'll tell you what, it just really looks sort of strange. You have to ask yourself, what causes that to reflect or be lit, but nothing else around it looks the same color, you know what I mean? One of the things that kind of leads me to believe it's, you know, it is possible that it's not natural. So you can look at that. I know it's the atmospherics, you know, make it wavy, but focus in on one point. I'm focusing in on the south side where you can see that bright L shape. And then I'm trying to give you a little perspective before I zoom in all the way. Probably don't have too much more zoom. But let's go ahead and choose what we do have. Oh, that was a pretty decent amount, not horrible. That just blurs it out too much. Right there, dead center. And so what I'll do is I'll just back it out a little bit. And, you know, it's just something that stuck out to me. So we will zoom back out. I'd like to actually maybe check out these lights. Let's go to this one here. And I think you can see what I'm talking about. Just the furthest to the right, you can see that kind of strange shaped set of lights. You know, maybe it's not lights. Maybe it is simply just reflection of something. I doubt it. I believe the moon is probably has its own light. It's probably self-illuminating, has its own light source. Who knows? It could be on the inside of the moon. We don't know. And I'm not going to believe everything NASA tells me. We only see one side of the moon from Earth. So as far as we know, there only is one side. There's just so much we could talk about and speculate about and stuff like that. The moon is just a very, very unique place. I almost say I'd love to go there, but I think I'd be scared shitless. We'll zoom in on this area. Lots of mountain type looking structures, whether they be natural or not. There's a lot of real sharp looking stuff, man. Real pointy looking stuff. Let's move on up. This looks very cool. This is a very cool shot. And let's zoom out just a little bit because we don't want to we don't want to stray too far from where we were at. I think we got a good view of everything so far, but yeah, let's check out this real large crater, of course. That is super cool, man. Oh yeah. Just take that in for a moment. I swear I saw something go by. But this video is not really about that. I mean, it is cool. I will definitely keep an eye out during the review of this video. Let's zoom in. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't know what to make of the structures within this crater area, but it could be nothing, man. We'll zoom in all the way. Beautiful. That's all the zoom I got. You look on the north part of that crater, you kind of see like a round area with a straight line going to the north of that, and then a straight line going to the west. Take a look around for yourself. I'm leaving plenty of time. Even if you need to pause it, rewind, and go back, definitely do that. We're gonna just slightly zoom out I know the shakiness, you know, it's not the best. It's not the best filming you've seen in your lifetime, but like I said, I've got to manually do it. So we definitely have some areas of interest right here, man. The crater attached to the one we were just looking at, and it really does look attached. In fact, you can kind of see there's something that kind of goes over the middle of the two, and that's pretty cool, man. Let's zoom in some. Not everything, but most. Check that out. We got a Y-shaped figure. It's the only thing that sticks out right there that's bright, and then it's all around more of a dull colored terrain or whatever you want to call it. But once again, we got a lot of everything looks so sharp around it. It's so crazy. Just a bunch of it's weird. Like, everything looks so dangerous on the moon, you know? Let's go over. You can see this is what I was talking about here, and I mean, that's max zoom. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, dead center, maybe right there. You can see that there's that lit. It kind of goes up to the right and then back down towards the crater, and then it's got that thing going off the north of it. Well, anyway, you can see what I'm talking about. But look at also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights in a half circle right there. I believe that to actually be lights. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's crazy. This area is real nice. Let's back out just a little bit. I'm going to take a couple of pictures. Let's see if I can let that steady out. And I don't know if I'll pick up those lights. I'm going to go ahead and zoom all the way back in again just to pick these lights up. Come on, work with me. Alright, cool. Beautiful. Dead center looks like something. Really looks like something. Oh man, that's all the zoom I got. So that blurs it out quite a bit. Well, still you can see the different color and that it does seem to have a shape. I don't know now. That's alright not to know, man. I'm just looking. Now here's an area that's very interesting. My goodness, what is going on with that? Like, I mean, that is just one of the most beautiful things I've seen. It's not even in full-on color, you know? I will have to end this video here in approximately 1 minute, but I will pick right back up. So, you might see a quick little kind of skip in the video, no big deal. It's not edited, at least not in the visual content or anything like that. Oh hell, look at it. It's great, pretty grayed out. We'll see if we can't get our zoom on just a little bit before I have to stop. Not the clearest thing you've ever seen, but definitely cool looking stuff, man. You can really see a lot of what I would consider lights. Okay. Oop, sorry. We're going to go ahead after that. After that screw up, we will be right back. Okay, we're back. I want to go ahead and, instead of being rushed, there went something. Kind of just basically north to south. That was quick, it was blurry, which means it was probably close, which means it was probably a bird. Let's go ahead and zoom all the way in. Let's see just how bad it looks. I want you to focus on the right side and tell me that does not look like a structure. It's seems to be a perfectly long rectangle that seems to drop down and then has other lit structure down below it. But look at that. And then at the very north side of that light, more lit rectangle, seems to be a square and then something sticking up off of it. Yeah, I'm getting close to my telescope to see it a little more clearly, because those atmospherics don't mess around. Let me try to focus. This seems like it's not focused anymore. Just look at that. That is super cool. Go ahead and zoom in all the way. It wasn't much more, but gave us a little bit. Now see, you see, that's not a horrible image. But what I see here is definitely, it looks like the area we're looking at's been cut out, because the right side is pretty damn straight. And then it makes a left turn on the north side. And then just everything in there just looks like right angles, straight lines for the most part, and in a lot of areas. So I'm not claiming that to be structures that are unnatural, but that's definitely cool, man. Gosh, I'm gonna get a picture of this. Beautiful stuff, man. Let's take a look. Gosh, it's amazing, man. Let's start over here with almost full zoom. See some lights going up into there. That one light's pretty straight line. Look at the center. I am 100% claiming that to be unnatural structures, and you can quote me on that. For right now, my mind can be changed, but dead center, I mean, I'll zoom in on it. I don't think it's going to help a whole lot. Yeah, just focus dead center. I mean, look at all that. Come on now. There's a Z shape, an L shape, another L shape. These paths and circles that all look like they're placed there or made there. Anyway, let's just move up. I don't want to speculate for too long on one thing. All this is cool looking. Just take a look at that for a few moments. Okay. I know, at a certain point in time, I almost question why do I even zoom back out, but, I'd love to give you guys, and I also love to see a different view of the moon. I want to see it from further away, and we're going to do that more in a minute whenever we get off of the Terminator line. Let's go literally just west of where we were at. And if you can look, dude, look at this area that I have basically centered. It may be just slightly off. I'm trying not to drift, but it's hard sometimes. Dead center there, that kind of looks like a Stonehenge of some kind, man. And then at the south side of it, it goes from east to west, and then it goes down, and then makes a right turn. So, that's a strange area for sure, man. Yep. Oh, you know what? Let's zoom all the way in and see what we got. Excuse me. Yeah, man. Cool as shit. Those things are spaced out. There seems to be a different color terrain than what those are. In that area, man. You can see they kind of go in a circle. I want to give a shout out to Cindy Holland, former NASA and Lockheed Martin employee. This one's for you. I want to see if your P900 or P1000 can see this kind of detail close up on the moon. If so, I'd like to see proof. Since I made that claim, I'm going to go ahead and tell you the equipment I'm using. Or since I made that comment. I'm using a Celestron Nexstar 8SE 8-inch mid-Cassegrain telescope. I'm using a Celestron 24mm to 8mm zoom eyepiece. And for my camera, I'm using an LG Aristo 3 smartphone camera that has 16 megapixels. So I got a decent amount of zoom. Let's go. Now, if nothing else, tell me how cool. Man, that's cool. God, that's really cool. I'm taking a picture of that. That crater that's basically centered with a crater to the left, or it's a crater inside on the left, and then another smaller crater on the right inside. Super cool. What is with that bright light all by itself? Is that a reflection from the sun? I would say no. This also caught my eye. See the large crater on the south side of the screen. Just to the northwest of that, there's another, what looks to be a crater, but you actually look, it looks like there's some things coming off of it. You can actually see, it looks like there's something coming off of it in different areas for sure. Okay, we'll move on. Beautiful little set of mountain ranges. I don't know. I guess that's what that is. I don't know why that's so bright, man. Now tell me that doesn't look weird. I don't need anyone to tell me anything about that. That is, God, I want to cuss real bad right now just to stress the point, but that is weird, dude. That is weird. I don't really see the need to explain it, but if you were to start on the south side of what looks like kind of a squared out area, the south side goes from west to east, then turns up north, turns right east, turns up north, kind of goes up in a little angle, and then continues north, and yeah, so let's zoom in, and I wish I could get closer, man, but just kind of bear with me. It goes over, it goes up, just kind of follow right in the middle there. You just kind of see it looks, I don't know. It looks like buildings with reflective roofs. So we've reached the north side where it is ugly, zoomed in. We will do that. We will drop the brightness, and I mean, I don't want to just, give the finger to the north side of the moon. We got to give it a little bit of attention here. So let's, with the light turned down, let's see if we zoom in and it gives us anything a little bit better. Yeah, that's not bad. One more area I want to look at, and then we will go, we'll go back. And that would be this area. Well, I can't get no more zoom. Dead center. Looks like it's definitely a building. I can't zoom in and show you now, but maybe in the future I do some pictures. Just look at the dead center of the screen. You can actually see there's a north-south line, and then to the east of it, it seems to be kind of glowing red due to atmospheric. So it's got to be a different color than what it's connected to. It seems to be connected. Either way, you can see it's definitely a different color. Very strange. Alright guys, so let's get our zoom back all the way out on the eyepiece. Let's bring the brightness back, because there we go. We got that beautiful kind of golden brownish color that just came back. And I'll just kind of real slowly but surely take us down. I'm just going to go ahead and max zoom it and talk about. So look at this. You can see coming into center. Let's start from the south. It goes south to north, takes a left turn, then goes north. So up, left, up, like a Z shape. Okay, now I'm going to zoom out now that you see what we're talking about. You can still see, I mean, that's what kind of stuck out to me, right there in the center. And then I'll zoom all the way out on the eyepiece, and then you can see once that steadies out, it's still noticeable. So just that's what I look for. Anything that sticks out, it's like, what is that? Well, let's go look at it, Let's figure this thing out. I mean, to the best of our ability with observation anyway. It's the best that we can do. And our eyes do deceive us at times and stuff, but we're just seeing what we see tonight on the moon. Like I said, I'm going to do a video tonight as well using my polarizer. It's adjustable, so you can let in anywhere from 1 to 40% light emission, and so you can adjust the darkness, kind of like you would focus a camera or a zoom eyepiece or something. Same thing. Keep turning it to the right as it gets darker, and then it'll eventually turn over to where it's clear. The 9. If you watch my video that tells you to go to the 16-minute 30-second mark first before the video, you'll hear all about the 9, and that's right there in the dead center. Let's zoom in on that son of a gun, and you can see kind of why I call it the 9. When I first saw it, it was basically in a shape, in the same position, so it looked like a 9, but sometimes, depending on the wobble of the moon, it'll look like a 6. That just keeps me as actually a landmark for me whenever I'm tracking or filming objects transit the moon. Right there, dead center, you can see it looks like a structure that goes from west to east, then goes down, and then turns left. So right, down, left, kind of like a horseshoe, a U shape on its side. There's max zoom on it. And we'll go ahead and zoom out. Gosh, it's amazing. There went something. With all these flybys, it's really making me want to do a little bit of filming, full-on wide angle, zoomed all the way out. I'll bet you $1 million, and in 5 minutes we catch at least 2, maybe 3 objects. But normally I keep that for full moons. So I am letting that intentionally drift slowly, just kind of letting you check out whatever you see, man. There went something on the south side of the screen, left to right. We got the plateau right here coming in centered. Not sure of the name of that. If someone can help me out, that's fine. But you know what? Actually, I take that back. Don't tell me. I want to find out for myself. That's the easy way out. But I call it the plateau for the time being. Just to the left of that's Marcrisium, Sea of Crisis, I believe. I do not know Latin very much. I want to see if that thing is still there for us. I'm going to go max zoom, even though I don't think it's going to be the best image for us. Yeah, I just can't make out anything. about what it is. So no big deal. We'll zoom back out. I really like the footage we were getting as we were progressing to the north. We'll steady out eventually. I'm not sure if I mentioned it in the other video, or the earlier part of the video, I should say, is, and I was going to say it again, so the October 2nd was 20% illumination on the moon, the 3rd 30%, the 4th 40%, the 5th tonight is 50%, tomorrow is the 6th, it'll be 60%, and then on the 7th it'll actually be 69%. So that's why I wanted to film each night where it goes in increments of 10% illumination, because I thought that's so cool. Like, it falls on, basically the day of the month that it is. You just add in 0, and that was the percent of illumination the moon is. Super cool. Doesn't happen often, I'm sure. There we go with that color change. So, we'll just do one last thing here. Look at that, gosh. Well, I'll tell you what, that's something else right there. That is something else. There went something flying by. I'll have to review it. Man, there have been quite a few flybys here. If you guys do want to stick with me, it looks like I'm going to have just enough time to do about, I don't know, we can do 5 to 7 minutes of wide angle and see if we can't get some stuff flying by. We'll finish doing a track. There went something there. Boom. Tracked that just enough. Northwest to southeast on the moon. I'll have to, once again, review that. Probably a bird. Doesn't matter. It was cool, man. That was cool. Okay, so, I mean, if that's not enough for you to believe that there's stuff transiting the moon, I cannot do anything for you. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's zoom all the way out, man. Let's kind of position ourselves, and let's drop that brightness right about there. And that gives us most of the moon in the middle. Drifting a little bit, man. Didn't think I was until I started paying attention. So let me go back down. I'm trying to move super slow. Hopefully it stays right there. That's about where I want to be for the time being. Two-times zoom on the phone only. I want to get that beautiful color back in, and you know what? If something's going to transit, it's going to transit. That's just all there is to that. And I'm actually going to change it to speed 6. Because if I do get something that comes in such a way that I can track it, I will do my best to do that. Got about 4.5 minutes left on this video. Excuse me. Boy, I would have to edit out those coughs, man. When we're zoomed in, we're not looking for anything to transit. That's when stuff transits. Now that we're looking for it, oh boy, man, doesn't look like it's gonna happen, huh? I mean, we've seen a few. So we still got a little bit of time. That should make my chances a little bit better. Let's do our last zoom for the night. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and change it back to 5. Oh, probably helps if I do the phone first, since that's how I have it set. And it's coming in the center. I was just looking at this line that runs north to south. Looked kind of like it's stuck out to me. Guys, I appreciate you sticking around with me through this video. I hope you found the video interesting. You liked the zooms we did. You got to see some things you might have never seen before. We may not have got any transits on when we were trying to do it like right now, but you know what? Well, I've got plenty of footage that shows that. So yeah, here's the moon at 50%. Thanks for watching.